Will the Committee of the Whole Finance for Wadsworth City Council on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. please come to order? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Okay, we're taking a roll call. Mr. Copley is absent this evening. Ms. Hines? Here. Parrish?
Here.
Renacci? Here. Rosbert?
Here.
Stugmeyer?
Here.
Yurcheck?
Here.
And Williams.
Here. You've all had an opportunity to read the Committee of the Whole Finance minutes from November 5th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The Committee of the Whole Finance minutes of November 5th, 2025 have been adopted. Next item is draft legislation this evening. We have a resolution.
Here's a new copy.
That would be item 1 on the agenda. Comprehensive plan to repair and replace damaged sidewalks throughout the city of Wadsworth over a 3-year period. Would you like to talk about that, Councilmember Renacci?
Yeah, Mr. President, this came out in a committee meeting, and I think some of the people in the community, at least I say on social media, are saying that we're forcing this, we're forcing that. This is really a simple resolution. It's for the city to evaluate all the sidewalks and come up with a comprehensive plan, and then work to come up with solutions over 3 years to correct all the deficiencies in the sidewalks. I think it's a pretty simple resolution, and find funding sources. I've learned ever since this resolution was discussed in committee, I've had people call me where they've broken their kneecap, where they've broken their leg from tripping, bicycle accidents and everything else. So I do think in the end, this is more of this goes along with a safety issue for our community as well. So again, this resolution is just that. Let's evaluate our sidewalks. Let's put together a 3-year plan, and let's determine how we pay for them and how we get the ones that are fixed. I know in my neighborhood, I've got sidewalks that have been sitting unfixed for more than 3 years already. So.
And some residents have taken it into their own hands to remove the slabs that are raised and imperfect and just fill them in with gravel. And that's really a sad state. Any discussion on council?
By the way, part of the problem is, and I think the Shade Tree Commissioner knows this, that the trees that have been planted by the city have uprooted some of the slabs and are causing problems. I think that's going to be an issue as well in the future.
So now I know a couple of years ago we had started a plan with the sidewalks or whatever. So and we have received some of the block grants or whatever to do some. So this would sum that up and possibly escalate that, or what would this do different or in addition to what we're already doing to make this happen quicker?
Well, right? We've fallen behind, and we did fall. Well, there was 1 year we didn't do anything at all, and that was unfortunately back during the government shutdown of 2020. We didn't touch any of them. So we've been kind of behind the 8 ball all along. So this will help move this forward. Yes.
Right now, we pick an area and we concentrate in that area, and then we might move to another area the next year. And this would be a comprehensive plan for the entire city to find out where are all the problems at, and can we address it throughout the whole city instead of just one quadrant or one neighborhood this year. It would be a big full-blown plan of looking at every sidewalk, or as many sidewalks as we can, and putting a plan together to move it a little further faster.
Yeah, and again, it's just the damaged ones. It's not every sidewalk in the
I
city.
think the key is, though, it's 3 years. It puts a date.
I wanted to add, the Shade Tree Commission is aware of certain shade trees that have been problematic for certain areas, and our arborist, George Ross, has done a wonderful job selecting types of trees that will not cause that type of damage in the future. So the new trees that have been planted supposedly will not be as problematic as some of the maples and different types that have been in the past. So they're very cognizant of what type that they do plant.
Okay. Any other discussion? Nothing from administration? Okay. Mr. Racy, will you sponsor that?
It's fun.
That'll be resolution number 25-12.
Now, item number 2. This has to do with compensation.
Courts,
Yeah.
yes. So this ordinance is actually updating the 2025 courts wage ordinance. They have hired a new probation assistant, and so this is adjusting the biweekly pay for that wage, or for that particular individual. This is actually a decrease in wages over the current person in that position by about just under $5,000.
Okay. Any questions from council members? Let's see, Mr. Parrish, would you like to take that one?
Sure.
What would you like done?
Please suspend and call this one. They would like to hire her as of December 1st.
You got that, Mr.?
Yes.
Okay.
That'll be ordinance 25-204.
What was the number? I'm sorry,
Two.
for the number 1, the resolution?
Number 1 was 25-12.
12, thank you.
204.
All right.
I can take the
And,
next ordinance as well.
Item number 3, I believe that's yours as well.
So this is for 2026 courts wages. The wage for the new probation officer will not change in 2026 since she's being hired so late in this year, but the other wages listed are a 3% adjustment, just like the rest of
Okay.
non-bargaining.
You want to take that one as well, Mr.?
Okay.
That'll be 25-205.
And we're going to call that?
This one can be, it can go to additional
Okay, then
readings.
we'll
This
move
won't
to
be
second.
effective until next year.
Okay, we have item number 4, a warrant.
I could speak to that, Mr.
Okay.
Williams. So this warrant is the result of a similar process that was discussed by City Engineer Davis in a similar instance for the same project. Essentially, what we've done, based upon numerous complaints and concerns with the work being done by Frontier in regards to their fiber installation project, the city was forced to hire quality control inspections to monitor the work of that subcontractor. Because it is their project and not a project affiliated with the city, I did not approve of city resources being paid for this inspection. So what I did approve of was Frontier paying the city for us to be able to pay an inspector to monitor their subcontractor. Those payments, as you might imagine, come in at random bits and times. We did not want to wait to get an inspector on site to protect the interests of the city and our citizens in regards to the damage that was being done by that contractor. So what happened was the work was being done, the inspection services were being provided to us, and then we received payment from Frontier. Simply, the warrant requires us, because we had initiated a process in which we entered into a contract for those inspection services prior to receiving or having a purchase order in place to pay for those services. That is what triggered this fiscal warrant. It is the right thing for us to do to bring the fiscal warrant to you. But quite honestly, you can put the entire blame on me because I was not happy what was happening in our community and to our citizens based upon a third-party contractor's actions.
So, do you need to suspend and call this? Have we already made
Preferably,
payment?
yes, so we can pay
Yeah, let's pay the
our
invoice.
inspector's fees and service bill.
Okay. I don't care. You want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Councilmember
We'll
Stillwater.
suspend and call.
That'll be 25-206.
Thank you.
Item number 5, is that?
This is health insurance retention. At the last meeting, we presented an ordinance to a supplemental appropriation for the various charges for departments to move into our 720 health insurance retention fund. So this goes hand in hand with the one that was presented last week. This is to get us through our health insurance premium claims payments through the end of this year through department charges. And this needs to be suspended and called along with ordinance number 25202. I believe
Okay.
that's the.
These are actual claims, not to get the reserve up, correct? These are actual claims, not the reserve.
They're what we are anticipating in claims. We have not received the claims yet. This is just anticipation to get us through the end of the year.
So that's the report that's coming from the provider, you're saying, that's showing?
No, I don't get a report from the provider. I'm looking at previous years, and at the end of the year, claims tend to increase as people get nearer and nearer to their deductibles. So looking at the past 3 years, for the last 3 months, this is the number that we came up with. And we are splitting it amongst the various departments rather than having it just be a general fund.
So again, I'm going to ask, so this is not actual expenditures, you are reserving, you're putting money in on the assumption that these claims are going to come through because of past history?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Auditor Fix, you're
Yes,
okay where, yeah.
these are appropriations to spend this year. So if they're not spent, the purchase order will be closed out.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Okay.
Let's see, Councilmember Hines, would you like to take that one, please?
Sure.
Suspend and call.
That'll be 25-207.
And then we have item number 6.
Yes, I can speak to that, Mr. President. This is an annual transfer that we do. We take the investment income and distribute it to the various funds based on their average cash balance. The information that I provided shows that the rate was 4.4%, and $742,277 remains in the general fund. So it's all collected in the general fund and then transferred out.
This came up at in our previous meeting, service meeting. This is an allocation of, because there is a lot of cash in the enterprise funds, you're actually doing an allocation, and then you're moving the cash out of the general fund into the other accounts, which is the move you should make, because it's those accounts that are really causing the money
Yes.
to be.
We earn on the city's pool
Exactly.
cash, so we're distributing it out.
So when you take this out of the general fund,
Yes,
you're actually making the general fund more appropriately what it should be.
yes, the cash balance will go down and then it continues to earn.
Right. We had a question about the general fund earlier, and that's the only reason I asked it that
Okay.
way.
Okay. Any other questions from council members? Okay. Councilmember Hines, you want to do that one as well?
Sure, what would you like?
That one, suspend and call, or?
There's no rush,
So we
but the
move it to second
sooner,
reading.
the sooner it's adopted, we will get
Yeah.
those funds transferred.
We'll move it at least to one more.
Okay.
That'll be 25-208.
And item number 7.
Okay, I can take this one also. This is to amend the income tax revenue allocation that was originally adopted in February. And that original ordinance was based on the 2025 budget. And so on the worksheet that was in your packet, I have extra copies if anybody needs one. Basically, we're only increasing that allocation of income tax by $8,394 net. There's 5 items that make up those changes, but I'd be glad to go through each one. There aren't any that are very significant. The Street Improvement Fund is receiving some extra dollars based on the update to the 25 estimate, about $47,000, and the Sidewalk Fund is receiving less, about $29,000, because it looks like we budgeted one number and we spent less, so we're moving fewer dollars over there to the Sidewalk Fund.
Okay. Any questions from council members?
Is it fair to say this is also an allocation of the general fund? This is a reallocation of the general fund?
Yes, so the general fund collects all of the income tax, and then this ordinance distributes to the various funds the amounts on your worksheet, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's numerous departments. Councilmember Rosberg, you want to take that one?
Sure.
That'll be 25-209.
Is this time sensitive, Ms. Fix?
It just needs to be adopted by the end of the year.
Okay, move to second. And item number 8.
I can speak to that, Mr. President. This was discussed in ED&P. This is simply a proposed increase in establishing the 2026 fees for engineering and planning, in particular engineering fees, and updating those for 26 to be in line with the 2025 construction cost index of 3.2%.
Mr. Rosberg,
Okay.
take that one. Move it to second. Okay.
25-210.
And it brings us to item number 9, about safety and the, okay.
Mr. President, I'd be happy to address that. This was discussed last night at the Public Safety Committee meeting. This is a continuation of our Marks Tower project discussion. Last week, the State Controlling Board approved the release of the $170,000 that we had discussed previously. So with that, this will begin the next step of the process, which would be engaging through an RFQ process with various engineering firms to work on the design and other studies that need to be done for the completion of the tower. This legislation speaks to the ultimate goal of that, which is actually engaging in a contractual relationship with one of those. So this also would plan to come back with an amount once that RFQ process is done, so that there could be a specific amount assigned to at least this portion of the project.
Okay.
Do not at this point need the 3 readings waived. This would just be the introductory process tonight.
You want to take that?
Yep, I'll suspend and call that.
That'll be 25-211.
Okay, that takes us to our regular agenda tonight. Let's see. Who's playing with the mic? Ordinance number 25-195, Mr. Parrish.
We have these 3,
Oh, okay, that's the, yeah.
the supplemental.
25-189, 25-190, and 25-191. Councilmember Stuckmeyer.
Yeah, we'll move with the, we read those all 3 at once, and we'll collectively move all 3 of those to second reading as recommended.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Oh.
would you all be willing to consider adopting those this evening? The reason is that they are dated November 15th issuance date, and we need to file those on EMMA, which is the electronic market, gosh, I don't have my note in front of me. It's where we record our debt, and we have a 10-day period to file after November 15th, and the next meeting is December 3rd. So it's up to you, but
No, that's a very good reason.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
suspend and call that.
We'll suspend and call
Thank you
that.
for that.
I appreciate it.
And then we'll do those one at a time then, correct? Instead of collectively?
What do you want to do?
Whatever you prefer, I can do
Yeah.
them separately, or
Well,
all 3?
We could do them all 3.
We'll do all
Just-
3
yeah.
at once, if that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
do one vote. Okay, now 25-195, Councilmember Parrish.
Move to third.
Ordinance 25-198, Councilmember Yurcheck.
Move that to third.
And ordinance number 25199, Councilmember Renacci. Would you like to do that on second reading?
Yes.
Move that to third?
Move it to third. Yeah.
Okay. Ordinance number 25200, Councilmember Parrish.
Move it to third.
Okay. Ordinance 25201, Councilmember Stugmeyer.
We'll move that one to third. We discussed that in redoing those job descriptions
Yep.
in service this evening, and we'll keep that on the agenda, but I'll move that to third.
Ordinance number 25202, Councilmember Renacci.
Move to third.
That one actually needs to be suspended and called tonight for the supplemental appropriation,
Okay, yeah, I see that.
possible.
Want to suspend and call that one, Councilmember Renacci?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then we have ordinance number 25203. Councilmember Renacci.
I would move that to third reading unless,
Mr. Hiscock is so,
Is there anything in administration that you need to move this?
No, the only factor, if you do not consider it tonight, which it is up to you, would be I would not enter into a contract for services until after this was approved at our next meeting, if you moved it to third. If you were to approve it this evening, once bids are opened, we could actually move towards that. However, there's a grant process that we still haven't received recipient information from. So I would tell you it would be fine to move it to third reading.
Resolution 2510, Councilmember Renacci.
yeah, that one, we're going to call
You going to call?
the question. And I think there's some misunderstanding about this, especially in the community. This just gives the administration the authority. It doesn't require them, which I keep hearing from people, no, you're requiring the administration. This just gives the administration the authority, but doesn't require them.
Okay. Then we have,
At wage or something, were we going to, we were at one point going to get some feedback from the citizens and discuss all the details and things of a levy?
I'm not familiar with that.
I think, again, that's the administration's going to have to, and the administration can come back. They can ignore this. They can decide they want to do it. They can get feedback, and we're just giving them the authority.
Okay. That's how I read it. Resolution 2511, Councilmember Renacci.
Yeah, I met with the administration today. We had a good meeting. I was able to get a lot of information that I really need to absorb. I would really like to put this on a fourth reading, just to have a chance to review everything and come back with a final position that at least I would be making after the evaluation. So I'd like to move it to fourth.
Okay. Ordinance number 25178, Councilmember Yurcheck.
I'll move that to fourth.
Okay. Amended ordinance 25179, again, yours.
I'll call that.
Call. Ordinance number 25184, Councilmember Rossbert. It's on third reading.
Yeah. I think we can go ahead and call that. No, yeah,
You're going to call it?
I'll call it.
Okay. Ordinance number 25176.
Move that to fifth.
Fifth. Ordinance number 25128.
I'll move that to sixth.
Okay. That brings us to the end of the review. Any other business? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Will the regular meeting of Wadsworth City Council for Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, please come to order? Will you please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag and remain standing for the invocation? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, who has given us this good land to be our heritage, we acknowledge our dependence upon you for all our things, and we thank you for all your blessings, including the right and privilege to govern ourselves in this free land. We pray that you would grant us all wisdom to make good decisions for the future of this community. Through Christ our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Copley's absent this evening. Ms. Hines?
Here.
Parrish?
Here.
Renacci?
Here.
Rosberg?
Here.
Stugmeyer?
Here.
Yuracek?
Here.
And Williams.
Here. You all had the opportunity to review the minutes for the regular city council meeting on November 5th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve them?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes for the regular city council meeting on November 5th, 2025 are approved. Tonight, council will hold a public hearing on ordinance number 25-176 with regards to amending zoning codes. Will the clerk please read the ordinance title?
Ordinance number 25-176, an ordinance to amend sections 154.035 and 154.083 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth pertaining to general development requirements and condominium developments and declaring an emergency.
I'd like to invite our Planning and Zoning Director, Mr. Kaiser, to speak about this ordinance.
Okay, good evening. The purpose of this ordinance is to eliminate some inconsistencies that were found between the PUD and cluster development provisions in our zoning code. Development, whether you're using a PUD or a cluster regulations, basically allow for very similar housing types and styles, from your standard fee simple lots to cluster lots, townhomes, condominiums. But we found that there were setback and lot area provisions in the PUD regulations that really were different from what was in the cluster regulations. So the first part of this ordinance is to correct those inconsistencies and make the requirements the same, whether you're using the PUD regs or the cluster development regulations. And then additionally, cluster lots, townhomes, condos, they're a little bit different than a single-family home on a fee simple lot. And zoning setbacks and lot requirements were really designed with the fee simple lots in mind. They don't really make sense for some of those other types of homes where you don't really have a lot, or the lot line is basically the boundaries of the housing footprint. So to kind of rectify that, in those cases where setbacks don't make sense, we've added some provisions for separation, building separation. So the space between two buildings, the space between a building and a street would mimic. They're basically set up to be the same as they would be if it were a fee simple lot with setbacks. So those are really the key provisions, just to kind of correct some inconsistencies and to address some of the issues we've had in the past related to setbacks on non-traditional, non-fee simple lots.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions from the council members?
No.
None? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Okay, I'd now like to open the council hearing for public comment. Any speakers that would like to come on this particular subject, please come to the podium one at a time, state your name and address for the record, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, under 3 minutes. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing for ordinance 25-176. Per council rules, number 17, council typically doesn't vote on legislation on the night of a public hearing. Are there any visitors in the audience that would like to address council? Please come to the podium, state your name and address, and keep your comments to 2 to 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to correspondence. Is there any? correspondence?
Yes, I did receive one item from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control regarding a request for a new liquor permit for Wadsworth Square Commons. Unfortunately, the address on the permit was the mailing address and should be the location address. Therefore, a new one will be sent. And I also received a warrant from the city auditor regarding Quality Control Inspection Incorporated in the amount of $33,733.80.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have committees and commissions. We'll start with the Public Service Committee. Councilmember Stugmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Service Committee met from our November the 11th meeting, which was Veterans Day, just prior to this meeting. And our next meeting will be December the 9th, 5:30 p.m., back to our regular time here in council chambers.
Okay. Public Safety will next meet on December 10th at 4:30 p.m. in council chambers. Public Ways, Councilmember Rosberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Ways will meet next on Monday, December 8th at 6 p.m. here in council chambers.
Economic Development Planning, Councilmember Yurcheck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development and Planning will next meet Monday, December 8th at 5 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Committee of the Whole met tonight at 6 p.m. where we discussed the legislation for this evening. Airport Commission, Councilmember Stugmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Airport Commission will meet next meet on Wednesday, January the 7th, 2026, 4 p.m. here in council chambers.
Stormwater Commission will meet January 13th at 5 p.m. in council chambers. Shade Tree Commission, Councilmember Hines.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Shade Tree Commission will meet next Tuesday, the 25th at 5 p.m. here in council chambers.
Thank you. Planning Commission will next meet in the Engineering Conference Room on Monday, the 24th at 7 p.m. Cemetery Board, Councilmember Yurcheck.
Cemetery Board will meet tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. in council chambers.
Cable TV Commission will next meet on Thursday, December 4th at 4 p.m. in council chambers. Senior Citizens Commission, Councilmember Parrish.
Senior Citizens Commission will meet at Suprema Center on Monday, December 1st at 3:30 p.m.
Thank you. That takes us to the reading of the legislation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Start with first readings. Resolution number 25-12 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jim Renacci and discussed at Public Ways. A resolution requesting the city administration to prepare a comprehensive plan to repair and replace damaged sidewalks throughout the city of Wadsworth over a 3-year period and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance 25-12 on second reading.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Resolution number 25-12 has been placed on second reading.
Ordinance number 25-204 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember David Parrish and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to amend sections 35.44 and 35.46 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth to adjust the compensation for the probation assistant for the remainder of 2025 and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the 3-reading rule on ordinance number 25-204.
Second.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Rosbert?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes. Mr. Parrish. Mr. President, I move that we call the question, ordinance number 25-204.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Parrish's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number 25-204?
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Rosbert?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
And Parrish?
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-204 has been adopted.
Ordinance number 25-205 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember David Parrish and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to amend sections 35.44 and 35.46 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth to increase the compensation for the clerk of the municipal court and for the chief probation officer and for the probation assistant and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-205 on second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-205 has been placed on second reading.
Ordinance number 25-206 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember Tom Stugmeyer, and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to authorize the drawing of a warrant in an amount not to exceed $33,733.80 for the payment of the amount due upon a contract with Quality Control Inspection Incorporated, and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I make a motion to suspend the three reading rule on ordinance number 25-206.
Second.
Renacci?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Rossbert?
Yes.
And Hines?
Yes.
Mr. President, I call the question on ordinance number 25-206.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Stugmeyer's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number 25-206?
Parrish?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Rossbert?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-206 has been adopted.
Ordinance number 25-207 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jeannie Hines, and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to make a supplemental appropriation of $772,648 in the 720 Health Insurance Retention Fund for purposes other than personal services for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025.
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the three reading rule on ordinance number 25-207.
Second.
Rossbert?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes. Mr. President, I call the question on ordinance number 25-204, or 207.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Hines' proposal to call the question on, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number 25-207?
Rossbert?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
And Hines?
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-207 has been adopted.
Ordinance number 25-208 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jeannie Hines, and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to authorize $2,474,113 in transfers for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-208 on second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-208 has been placed on second reading.
Ordinance number 25-209 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember Dan Rossbert, and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to amend Section 34.36 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth to provide for the allocation of income tax receipts of $3,967,105 during fiscal year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-209 on second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-209 has been placed on second reading.
Ordinance number 25-210 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember Dan Rossbert, discussed at Economic Development and Planning. An ordinance to establish 2026 fees for sections 53.16, 97.15, 150.009, 150.078, 150.081, 150.082, 153.054, 153.095, 154.540, 155.05, 155.09, and 155.10 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move we place ordinance number 25-210 on second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-210 has been placed on second reading.
Ordinance number 25-211 on first reading, sponsored by Councilmember John Yurcheck and discussed at Public Safety. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Safety to negotiate and enter into an agreement for professional engineering services for design of a new Marks radio communication tower project and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the three reading rule on ordinance number 25-211.
Second.
Hines?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Rossbert?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. President, I move to call the question on ordinance number 25-211.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Yurcheck's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of Ordinance number 25-211.
Renacci?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Rossbert?
Yes.
And Heinz.
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-211 has been adopted.
We'll move to second readings. I'm going to read the next three ordinances, 25-189 through 25-191, all at once, and then council can act on them as a group. Ordinance number 25-189 on second reading. An ordinance providing for the issuance of a note in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing the 2025 stormwater improvements and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 25-190, an ordinance providing for the issuance of a note in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing the 2025 water improvements and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 25-191, an ordinance providing for the issuance of a note in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing the 2025 sanitary sewer improvements and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I make a motion to suspend the three reading rule collectively on ordinances number 25-189, 25-190, and 25-191.
Second.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Rossbert?
Yes.
Heinz?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. President, I call the question collectively on ordinance number 25-189, 25-190, and 25-191.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Stugmeyer's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on adoption of ordinances 25-189, 25-190, 25-191?
Stugmeyer?
Yes.
Yurcheck?
Yes.
Heinz?
Yes.
Rossbert?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Renacci?
Yes.
Ordinances number 25-189, ordinance number 25-190, ordinance 25-191 have all been adopted.
Ordinance number 25-195 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember David Parrish and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance making appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Wadsworth during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, establishing a new system of funds and accounts, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move we place ordinance 25-195 on third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-195 has been moved to third reading.
Ordinance number 25-198 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember John Yurcheck, discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to amend Sections 35.41 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth to change the compensation rate for the volunteer fire service and EMS service employees and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-198 on third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-198 has been placed on third reading.
Whoops. Did I do that right? Yeah. Ordinance number 25-199 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jim Renacci and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to amend Sections 35.47 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth to change the compensation schedule for various city officers and employees and to provide a 3% wage increase for said various city officers and employees in calendar year 2026 and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-199 on third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-199 has been placed on third reading.
Ordinance number 25-200 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember David Parrish and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into a contract with Structure Personnel Incorporated for the leasing of employees from said employment agency to be responsible for the seasonal flushing of hydrants, the seasonal collection of yard waste and leaves, and other needs, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-200 on third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-200 has been placed on third reading.
Ordinance number 25-201 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember Tom Stugmeyer, discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to amend Sections 35.43 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth to compensate the playback technician at $19 per hour and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I make a motion to move ordinance number 25-201 to third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance 25-201 25-201 has been placed on third reading.
Ordinance number 25-202 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jim Renacci, discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to make a supplemental appropriation of $772,648 in various funds for personal services for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025.
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the three reading rule on ordinance number 25-202.
Second.
Rossbert.
Yes.
Stugmeyer.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Parrish.
Yes.
Yurcheck.
Yes.
Renacci.
Yes. Mr. President, I call a question on ordinance number 25-202.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Renacci's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number 25-202?
Stugmeyer.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Parrish.
Yes.
Yurcheck.
Yes.
Rossbert.
Yes.
Renacci.
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-202 has been adopted.
Ordinance number 25-203 on second reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jim Renacci and discussed at Committee of the Whole. An ordinance to authorize an advance for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-203 on third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-203 has been placed on third reading.
In our third readings, resolution number 25-10 on third reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jim Renacci and discussed at Committee of the Whole. A resolution authorizing the city administration to prepare and file all necessary documents with the County Board of Elections to place a park levy on the ballot at the next primary election and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I call the question on resolution number 25-10.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Renacci's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number, or resolution number 25-10?
Parrish.
Yes.
Yurcheck.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Rossbert.
Yes.
Stugmeyer.
Yes.
And Renacci.
Yes.
Resolution number 25-10 has been adopted.
Resolution number 25-11 on third reading, sponsored by Councilmember Jim Renacci and discussed at Committee of the Whole. A resolution requesting that the city administration begin the process of rolling back the city's provision of cable, internet, and fiber services and to cease further expansion of such services and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place resolution number 25-11 on fourth reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Resolution number 25-11 has been moved to fourth reading.
Ordinance number 25-178 on third reading, sponsored by Councilmember John Yurcheck, discussed at Economic Development and Planning. An ordinance authorizing the execution of a development and tax increment financing agreement with Addison Wadsworth LLC and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-178 on fourth reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-178 has been placed on fourth reading.
Amended ordinance number 25-179 on third reading, sponsored by Councilmember John Yurcheck, discussed at Economic Development and Planning. An ordinance authorizing the appointment of the Wadsworth Community Improvement Corporation, WCIC, as the agent for the City of Wadsworth for selling parcel 040-20A-17-060, consisting of land located off North Pardee Street, and ratifying the methodology for the sale and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move to call the question on ordinance number 25-179.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Yurcheck's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number 25-179?
Renacci.
Yes.
Rossbert.
Yes.
Parrish.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Stugmeyer.
Yes.
Yurcheck.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 25-179 has been adopted.
Ordinance number 25-184 on third reading, sponsored by Councilmember Dan Rossbert and discussed at Public Ways. An ordinance to make a supplemental appropriation of $2,136,017 in the 425 General Capital Improvement Fund for purposes other than personal services for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and to declare an emergency.
Mr. President, I called a question on ordinance number 25-184.
Hearing no objection to Councilmember Rosberg's proposal to call the question, will the clerk please take a roll call vote on the adoption of ordinance number 25-184?
Hines.
Yes.
Parrish.
Yes.
Yurcheck.
Yes.
Rosbert.
Yes.
Renacci.
Yes.
Stugmeyer.
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-184 has been adopted.
And ordinance number 25-176 on fourth reading, sponsored by Councilmember John Yurcheck, discussed at Committee of the Whole and forwarded by the Planning Commission. An ordinance to amend sections 154.035 and 154.083 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wadsworth pertaining to general development requirements and condominium developments and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-176 on fifth reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-176 has been placed on fifth reading.
And our last one is ordinance number 25-128 on fifth reading, sponsored by Councilmember John Yurcheck, discussed at Economic Development and Planning. An ordinance creating the Addison Wadsworth Tax Increment Financing TIF Incentive District pursuant to sections 5709.40, 5709.42, and 5709.43 of the revised code, declaring improvements to the parcels within the incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of those service payments, specifying the public infrastructure improvements that benefit or serve parcels in the incentive district, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I move that we place ordinance number 25-128 on sixth reading.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance number 25-128 has been placed on sixth reading. Any other business before council tonight?
Candlelight Walk coming up this Friday, Christmas time in the city. The trees went up, you saw today. The tree lighting ceremony will begin at 6 p.m. Hopefully the band will be down there with the weather, whatever, but it'll go on from 6 p.m. till 9. Yes.
I'd just like to take a moment and congratulate and thank the Wadsworth Grizzly football team for an amazing year. They unified the city. The parents painted the windows, and there was just a lot of electricity in this town because of those fine young men. I know their hearts were broken Friday night, but we're all very proud of them and the coaching staff and everybody that came together to make it. I heard from parents from Avon that they didn't even see excitement like that at the state finals last year. So kudos to Wadsworth for coming out and supporting our team.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody from administration?
Here,
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember
I'd just
Hines.
like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and remind everybody that we should all be thankful for all the things that we have.
Anybody else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.